What's going on, y'all? Shimon Thomas here, checking in for another video. And today I just wanted to share a very encouraging testimony, I believe, from yesterday. So for those who don't know, I'm an assistant coach for a basketball team, a varsity basketball team. And yesterday we had an away game at a Christian school, right? So as I'm on the court warming up with the players and taking them through certain drills and things like that, I see my old college coach walk through the door. Now, he was avoiding me because obviously he saw me standing there and I saw him standing there. So I'm looking at him trying to make eye contact, but he was avoiding me. Now, the reason that this testimony is so important to me is because when I first went to college, when I was a freshman, I played college basketball. And that was a time where I was extremely depressed. I was extremely anxious. I didn't know Christ, although I was looking for him. And this man single-handedly made my life a living hell. It was absolutely terrible. He did everything in his power to destroy who I was as a person. He tarnished my character. He destroyed my name. He always made fun of me, always put me down. And he was just this big bully. You know, there were times in practice where it got physical between him and I. Not fist fighting, but there were times where he would kick the ball out of my hands, times where he would verbally abuse me in front of all the other players. And I shared more so about this in the testimony video that I had. But yeah, he was just pure evil. By far the most wicked and evil human being that I've ever met in my entire life. And I remember how he would encourage the players on my team, my own teammates, to disrespect me, to make up lies about me, to try to get me kicked off the team. Literally crazy, you know. And even back then when I would look at him, his face would just be like evil. Like every time that I would get around him, I would get very nervous. I would just feel immediately degraded. I would not even be able to look him in the eye. Every time that we would speak, when I was a 18-year-old, 19-year-old freshman, I wouldn't even be able to look at him in his eye because there was just something so evil and wicked about him, and it always made me feel terrible, right? So yesterday I meet him, and this is the thing. Prior to this very moment, I've been praying for about 2 years because I haven't seen him since I was 19 years old. I'm 23 now. So a year and some change, I have been praying to the Lord that he introduced me to him again so that I could speak to him about Christ and share the gospel and let him know how great God is. And he delivered, you know. And yesterday when I saw this man, I felt nothing but love. I felt nothing but joy, and I felt nothing but peace and comfort. And I loved him. Even though he was a terrible person, even though he's evil, even though he is just, you know, he's out there, I just loved them. And that's what Christ said. He said, bless those who persecute you. Pray for those who spitefully use you. Do good to those who are evil. You can't overcome evil with evil. You have to overcome it with good. And only the Father is good, so you need to overcome this evil with his love. Right? So the game is going on. I don't really have the time to approach him and to speak to him because he's in a crowd. He's scouting and things like that. So as I'm on a bench watching the game and helping the players and stuff, I'm praying in my mind. I got the mask on. I'm like, God, just give me a space where I could just talk to him and no distractions. Just help me. Don't let him leave until we speak. Right. So the game is ending, and I look up in the bleachers and I see him getting ready to leave, and all of my players are leaving. So I speak to my head coach and I say, would I be able to stay back for like about 5 minutes so I could speak to my college coach? He's up there in the stands. And my head coach was like, yes. As soon as he said that, I'm like, all right, let's go. So my old college coach is coming down the bleachers, and I'm just staring him in his eye. And I said, yo, you remember me? And at first he was playing dumb, like playing stupid. Like, I don't know, who is this? Like getting all nervous and stuff. But he was like, give me time. Let me get your name right. I'm like, you know my name. And he goes, Shimon Thomas, that's your name, right? I was like, yeah, you know my name. I was like, what's up, man? How you been? And he felt like I could feel his spirit just rising up because he probably thought that I was coming to do something to him. He probably thought I was going to hit him or, you know, whatever. Because, like I told you before, I wasn't the person to confront another person. I wasn't able to look someone in the eye because I had so much social anxiety. So when he saw me, he wasn't used to me looking him directly in his eye and speaking firm to him and just not backing down. So he's slowly walking down the steps. He's looking around, looking for witnesses just in case I do something. But I was like, yo, how you doing? Like, I miss you. And just, I shared the love of Christ. And immediately he said, how are you doing? Like, how's everything been for you since so-and-so happened, since you left the college that you were in when you were a freshman? And I said, you know, everything's been good right now. I'm a teacher and I'm a youth pastor and I do coaching on the side. And immediately he goes, oh my goodness, oh what? Things are going so well for you. And I looked him in his eyes and I said, all glory to God. He changed my life. And I then asked him, I said, how's everything going for you? And I could still see that evil spirit all over him. He said, oh, well, I'm doing great. You know, our team is 11-2. You know, we can't complain and da-da-da-da. And then he started to ask more about myself because, mind you, I'm looking him in the eye and he's getting nervous because I didn't usually do that. So he says, yeah, what made you do coaching? And I was like, honestly, God just sent me here. And I wanted to let you know that I know everything that you were doing behind the scenes, and I know everything that you did personally to me. But I love you, and I forgive you for everything that you've ever done. The teammates that you encouraged to do the same things to me, the evil things, I forgive them as well, and I love them too. And after that, I just shook his hand, and I left, you know. And then we went back to the locker room with my team, and then as I was walking out of the locker room, I was mentoring another player on the team, and I see him sitting on a wall, and he just had this big smile in his face. It was like he was no longer on edge. He was no longer, he didn't look evil anymore. He just looked as if he had an encounter with God. And he's smiling. He said, yo, have a great night, man. It was an amazing time seeing you. Da-da-da-da. You know, we was just talking a little bit, but I was like, yeah, you know, God bless. And we walked off. But I just wanted to say, God says, if you do not forgive, you will not be forgiven. And it's so easy for us to forgive people in our prayer closets. It's so easy for us to verbally say, I forgive them, God. I choose to forgive them. But when it actually comes, when that person actually comes into your life and you have an encounter with that person, are you able to tell them that you forgive them? Are you able to display character that shows true forgiveness? And that's something that the Lord was preparing me for, because I've been praying for this man for a year and a half. And this is the first time that God has done something like this to me. The other time that the Lord has done something like this to me is when I was praying that I could see my old New Age mentor. You know, when I was in another college, when I was about 20 to 21, I used to be deep into witchcraft. I was deep into astrology, zodiac signs, yoga, all of this demonic stuff. And I had a mentor who worked as a chef in the university that I used to attend. Long dreadlocks, was all about energy and frequencies, and he was a warlock, you know. And I remember that he would teach me so much about the demonic realm that he was literally helping me, like ushering me into a demonic presence every time that I was around him. And I didn't know, because, you know, they say peace and blessings, and it's witchcraft. You know, witchcraft is an abomination to God. God made it very clear in the first commandment that we should have no other gods before him. And he made it even clear to the Israelites who were going into the land of Canaan, the promised land. He said, don't worship their gods. Don't serve me as they serve their gods. Don't let your children pass through the fire to the god of Moloch. Don't sacrifice anything to the god to Baal. Baal, the Canaanite god. He was known for fertility and for agriculture and things like that. They would sacrifice to Baal. And God told the Israelites, he said, don't worship me that way. Don't burn incense to other gods. You know, I could go, this is a whole nother video, but yeah, so I was praying to the Lord because I found Christ after that man had stopped working at my school. And I began to pray. I said, God, help me to see my old mentor again so that I can let him know the truth. Like, we've been both looking for the truth, and I found it through you. So help me to share it with him. And one day in the summer, I actually still have a video, but one day in the summer, I was on the streets preaching, and he started to walk by, and immediately I looked at him and I said, do you remember me? And yo, I almost broke down in tears because I really had a bond with this older man, this warlock. And yo, I'm getting emotional even talking about it, but I was like crying a little bit, and I hugged him and everything. I said, yo, give me a hug, man. And immediately, I didn't waste no time. I said, look, I know that you're into so-and-so and that I used to be into it as well, but I found the true power. I found the true and living God is Jesus Christ. It's no one else, man. And I said, all that stuff that we used to do, the incense and the demonic meditation, all of that stuff is inspired by Satan and is taking us away from the truth. And I remember telling him that he needed to repent of his sin so that he can be born again and can really experience true power, which only comes by God. And he didn't accept it, but we still loved each other. We still shook hands. We still hugged. And, you know, I pray to this day that he found Jesus. But, yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say. So, forgive, man. Forgive. Let forgiveness have its way. Because if you don't forgive, God won't forgive you. So, God bless you.